Hello, brothers. Thank you so much. I'm deeply honored to receive the Order of Achievement. I wish I could be in Arizona to express my gratitude and most certainly network with you guys. The General Assembly holds a special place in my heart, especially reflecting on my time with the Ritual team back in 1976. It's truly a time for inspiration. As you can see, I'm currently at the Olympic Games, or rather I'm working hard behind the scenes at the Paris Games from NBC Studios here in Stamford, Connecticut. It's an incredible operation involving like 2,000 of us here and then another 850 in Paris, ensuring comprehensive coverage of the largest television production in history, particularly highlighted by that spectacular opening ceremonies. And working on such a monumental event never feels like a job, it's a passion. And that's my wish for each of you, to find that same passion in your pursuits. Don't just hope for success, envision it in your daydreams and work relentlessly to turn those visions into reality. Daydreams are powerful. They're unfiltered aspirations, free from constraints of conventional thinking. In fact, I consider daydreams so important that I quit using resumes to screen and vet young people long ago. I simply ask them to write what they see in their daydreams. And you know, most times it's really tough for them. They're so conditioned to write in the cover letter style that they revert back to what their professors drilled into them. I want to be taken away into their dreams. If they take me on a journey, I bring them in to meet me. So here's a challenge. And a way to think, perhaps. If you see yourself making movies, why not see yourself sitting next to Steven Spielberg? If you want to be a Wall Street pro, see your name on the door at Berkshire Hathaway. And if you want to fly, head to Mars with NASA. Okay, so now you get the job. What now? Well, I suggest don't leave. Stay for 4 years and pick up that PhD. Work the same hours as if you're going to get your doctorate. But the great thing is you won't have that debt when you're done. At the start of my career, ABC was the leader. I grew up in Indianapolis and I had a good working knowledge of the Indy 500. I found contacts that I needed and I was a respectful pit bull on trying to get out on the crew to be a runner. I got the gig and for 3 weeks I was soaking in how one of the biggest shows in television was produced. I could not have had a better foundation to begin. When the race was over, I was asked by one of the producers if I wanted to work on other shows, and my jaw actually dropped. Soon I became a valuable person to have on the crew, and I signed contracts to do series work and began to travel with the best in the business. It was great, and my network was growing. Ah, yes, there's that word again. I suggest that the most significant reason that you all are here at the General Assembly is networking. Get comfortable with it. Get good at it. Grow your contacts, and find ways to nurture every relationship inside the brotherhood. Finally, I'd like to close with Louise and George, two profound Lambda Chi encounters that changed my life. Louise Bennett was a little sister, and we used to tear the dance floor up, disco style. She changed her last name to Lingner back in 1983, and we still have all the moves. Plus 2 wonderful sons, Chris and Corey, that became professional dancers and performers. And knowing how time passes, but when I say George at anything connected with our fraternity, our minds quickly shift to George Spazzik. Allow me this quick story. So I'm at the Indy airport. I'm getting ready to fly to Dallas to interview at American Airlines, which means I'll probably be serving peanuts and Pepsis for my career. I cross paths with George. He says, "What are you up to?" I begin to tell him. He cuts me off mid-sentence and says, "Take your trip, but don't take the job. You're going to be a consultant." Of course, I came back and accepted the position, and then I got to travel for 1 year under the leadership of Frank Mays and had a wonderful experience. Here's the networking kicker. In the summer of 1979, I was able to go back to working freelance on ABC Sports. And when I was reading a lot about this new 24-hour cable channel called ESPN, I told George what I was thinking, and he says, "You know, the founder of ESPN is a brother from DePaul, don't you?" And guess who wrote a letter on my behalf to Bill Rasmussen? You guessed it, it was George. The long story short is, I played hooky while working at the ABC Lake Placid Olympics, and I interviewed in Bristol and became the second staff remote producer. All these years later, I'm still in the game, and I love what I do just as much as I did in 1980. And I have that same wish for all of you, to look back from a long career and know that you loved it. So if you want to network with me, here it is, terry@innovativeye.com. I'll always get back to you. I always made that promise that I would. I'm honored beyond words for this meaningful recognition. Remember to be three things. Be really good at what you do, be on time, and be a good hang. It's really a pretty simple formula. And hey, keep watching the games. We'll be on until August 11th. And again, my sincere appreciation.